In an unexpected decision, Hendrick Motorsports has decided not to appeal Alex Bowman's Charlotte disqualification. This has left fans wondering why. Could it be true that HMS knew something was up with Bowman's car? Were they trying to get away with something illegal? Some thought the organization had a case, since dashcam footage from another driver revealed what seemed to be a substantial chunk dislodging from Bowman's car after hitting a bump on the course. It's probable the piece was enough to create the weight disparity that resulted in Alex Bowman being disqualified from the race, dropping him out of the top 8 in the playoff standings based on points. Hendrick clearly did not feel that going through the appeals procedure would make a difference. In the statement issued on Monday, HMS explained their decision to accept the penalty. Hendrick Motorsports will not appeal the disqualification of the number 48 car following Sunday's race at the Charlotte Roval. NASCAR allows a clear margin to account for the difference in pre- and post-race weight. After a thorough review by our team and the sanctioning body, we simply did not give ourselves enough margin to meet the post-race requirement. Although unintentional, the infraction was avoidable. We are extremely disappointed to lose a playoff spot under these circumstances and apologize to our fans and partners. Originally, all 4 Hendrick drivers had progressed to the round of 8 following Kyle Larson's Sunday victory. However, during post-race technical inspection, the number 48 HMS Chevrolet failed to fulfill the minimum weight standards, which included a tolerance of about 17 pounds. According to Brad Moran, Cup's managing series director, the car was weighed many times, and the team was given the option of fueling up and adding water. NASCAR's Brad Moran explains Alex Bowman's disqualification at Charlotte Roval. The NASCAR rulebook specifies that, after a vehicle has raced, the minimum overall vehicle weight of all vehicles must be within 0.5% of the minimum overall vehicle weight required at the start of the race. Moran stated that the 48 teams were given the option to fuel the vehicle, cleanse the water system, and add water. NASCAR rescaled the car several times, but it never reached the required weight. Unfortunately, when we were running the number 48 through, it didn't pass the minimum weight specs, Moran said. We pulled the car off to the side and we allowed them to fuel it, which they already did. Let them fuel it again. Let them run the pumps to make sure all the pickup boxes were full. We give the teams every opportunity to try to meet minimum weight. We also have them plug in the water and run the water through the system to make sure they're full of water, and then we rescale it. Still didn't meet the weight. We backed it off and we ran it across one more time just to confirm the weights were accurate. Unfortunately, they did not meet the minimum weight. They are allowed 0.5% of a weight break, which is about 17 pounds, give or take. That is what they're allowed, and it was more than that. Bowman was disqualified, and the resulting loss of points removed him from the 2024 NASCAR Cup playoffs. Bowman's misfortune prompted Joey Logano, a 2-time NASCAR Cup winner and Team Penske driver, to return. He trailed by 4 points at the finish line. This also impacted the Owners' Championship, as the number 4523 Nekuas Racing Toyota was previously eliminated but is now back in contention. So, due to Bowman's disqualification, Joey Logano is back in the game, in the playoffs, and chasing his 3rd Cup Series championship after Alex Bowman and the number 48 crew were disqualified from Sunday's Bank of America Roval 400 in Charlotte when the car failed post-race inspection due to being underweight. Logano secured the final transfer slot in the round of 8 as a consequence of Bowman's disqualification, which sent the Hendrick Motorsports driver below the cut line. Hendrick Motorsports stated Monday that it will not appeal NASCAR's penalty, officially putting Logano in the last slot. Logano, as you can expect, is overjoyed, and he expressed his happiness by posting a famous clip from The Hangover on X. Logano is back and part of a stacked round of 8 lineup that features 4 drivers who have won at least one title: Logano, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, as well as 4 drivers seeking their first: Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, and Tyler Reddick. As we all know, this is an even year, and Logano understands how to make it to Championship 4. Logano won the title in 2018 and 2022, finishing 4th in 2014, 2nd in 2016, and 3rd in 2020. If history is any guide, Logano will be back in a month. But Logano isn't the only one some of the usual suspects have to look out for, as Hamlin and his employee Reddick are also still in it. And Hamlin has opened up about their chances and what Bowman's disqualification means. Denny Hamlin understands how Alex Bowman's disqualification at the Roval on Sunday affects Tyler Reddick's prospects of becoming a champion. On the Actions Detrimental podcast, Hamlin discussed how Bowman's elimination from the playoffs affects him as the co-owner of Reddick's Num 45 vehicle for 23 Saufen Racing. I mean big, Hamlin explained. What else do you want me to say? Hamlin also discussed how climbing up the rankings results in greater money for the team. You basically can say the car will bring in about $135,000 more per position that you move up, Hamlin explained. Now, that doesn't include the year-end purse. That's a number as well, I just don't know it off of my head. Every position you can move up is an extra $135,000. But if Tyler were to get eliminated, not go to the Final Four, he'll get reorganized back in the points with the other 12 that didn't make the Final Four. They all get reseeded based off of how they did for the entire 10 weeks. Tyler Reddick is in an excellent position to make it to NASCAR's Championship 4, sitting third behind Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson. He won the NASCAR Cup Series regular season championship, the first for Hamlin and Michael Jordan, who also owns 23x1. Back in August, Jordan Bianchi of The Athletic argued that Reddick should win it all. Frankly, if we're going to make championship picks, he is in that discussion. A year ago, when we made the picks, we both said the same things. On the Teardown podcast, Bianchi stated that this squad is prone to making mistakes. They can't stay out of their own way, they have some speed, but they can't execute. All that's gone. There are so many reasons to like their chances right now. They're clicking and should probably be the team like, can we start the playoffs tomorrow, please? Reddick and Hamlin are 2 of the 8 drivers that remain in the playoffs. The remaining 6 are Larson, Bell, William Bryan, Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, and Joey Logano. The round of 8 phase of the playoffs will begin on Sunday with the drivers competing in the South Point 400 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So, who will win it this year? 2 NASCAR experts anticipate which drivers will advance to the Championship 4 after 4 were eliminated at the Roval on Sunday. On the Teardown podcast, Jeff Gluck and Jordan Bianchi of The Athletic named the 4 drivers they believe will compete in the NASCAR Championship race at Phoenix Raceway. My final 4 has not changed from before the playoffs, Gluck said. I have Kyle Larson, I have Tyler Reddick, I have Christopher Bell, and I have Ryan Blaney. I have Bell winning, as I've been saying all along, because of Bell's prowess on those type of tracks Phoenix will be decided on. That's my pick. As I've said before the season, even on Denny Hamlin's podcast when he had us on to announce that we were coming over to Dirty Mo and all that stuff, I said I'm not picking Denny to win the championship. I'm not even picking him to make the Final Four because something always happens to him. Bianchi went on to make his Championship 4 selections. My Final 4, Bell, Larson, Hamlin, and Blaney, he stated. Bianchi went on to say that Alex Bowman was too Cinderella for him, but that came just before NASCAR announced his disqualification from the Roval race, which resulted in his playoff elimination. Bianchi also mentioned round of 8 playoff driver Chase Elliott, who led only 1 lap in postseason racing. The 8 drivers that remain in the playoffs are Bell, Larson, Blaney, Hamlin, Reddick, Elliott, William Bryan, and Joey Logano. Larson, Bell, Reddick, and Byron are now in the top 4 in the standings, but this will alter during the next 3 races. Of the 8 drivers, 4, Larson, Blaney, Elliott, and Logano, have won championships. I feel like our chances are as good as anyone, Hamlin told reporters before the playoffs. Now I would say that the 45, Tyler Reddick, the 20, Christopher Bell, the 5, Kyle Larson, have a better chance because they have more playoff points going into the playoffs. But ultimately, we're one of the very few cars that can win any given week. So, no matter what points position we might find ourselves in, and we will be in a precarious points position at some point in the playoffs, we always feel like we can go to the next track and win, so that's on something that only a few cars can do. Who's your pick?